Hey everyone. Yeah, I tried to do this yesterday but couldn't do it correctly. It was too quick or something like that. So I thought I'd come out here and do it now, kind of get it out of the way. But I want to talk about the teaser trailer that was dropped yesterday for The Incredibles 2. And I have to say that from what I've seen, and I'm sure a lot of people have seen, it didn't give us much, but it kind of gave us an idea of what one of the premises, one of the plot points of the film is going to be. Basically, from what we understand, it kind of takes place directly after the first film, so I guess that's a good thing. That's a good thing. But one of the other main selling points is it's going to focus on Elastigirl. It's going to focus on Mrs. Incredible, Helen, instead of Mr. Incredible, Bob. It's not going to focus on him. Well, it's going to focus on him, but it's mostly the spotlight's going to be on Mrs. Incredible. And I don't know how they're going to play around with this, but I would guess anything. Well, first of all, before I get into that, let me talk about the teaser trailer. Again, we didn't get much. All we got was Jack going through basically Jack, one of his powers that's emerging, one of his powers that he's got, is he's able to phase ghost, if you will, through walls, inanimate objects, people, whatever. He's able to do that. So I guess that's kind of cool. But if you're a comic book superhero enthusiast, then you know that power is very similar to that of what Kitty Pryde has in the X-Men and in the Marvel Universe. Not cinematic universe, but regular Marvel Universe overall. But that's basically the power that Kitty Pryde has. She's able to phase through walls, inanimate objects, stuff like that. Heck, if you watched X-Men Evolution, there's an episode that I guess it's part of the plan or something like that, to where she allows Iceman, Bobby Drake, to freeze her completely into an ice statue or an ice sculpture of herself, and she's able to phase through it. To kind of, I guess, go along with the plan or something like that. I don't really know. Now, with that said, we find out that's one of his powers. So he phases into this red room, and then all of a sudden, his other power emerges, which is lasers coming out of his eyes, a la Superman, Cyclops, you name it. And he looks up as he's having fun with this, because of course he's just a baby. He looks up after he's using his lasers to kind of shoot at the floor, kind of blast the floor or something like that. He looks up and he sees the Incredibles logo in a shadowy silhouette. And he has fun with his laser powers by cutting down the middle of the eye in the Incredibles logo, turning it into a 2. And then that's pretty much how that part of the trailer ends, or the teaser trailer ends. And then you have Bob, Mr. Incredible. The next thing you see is Bob, Mr. Incredible, excited by his son having these powers. And just as he's excited, that's when the laser eyes activate again, and Bob, Mr. Incredible, is just barely able to duck, but just enough to where the lasers kind of singe his hair a little bit, kind of cut it off a little bit, right down the middle. And that's basically what you get. Excuse me. Overall, from what I saw, I actually liked it. I like the fact that they're keeping the original style of the first one. Of course, they got to keep the original style. What am I talking about? But I like the fact that they're keeping it. I like the fact that even with the improved animation, and you could see that even in the teaser trailer, that nothing's really going to change. So I like that there. Overall, it really didn't give us much as far as basically giving us an idea as to what one of the subplots in the film is going to be about. It just gave us that subplot of it just gave us an idea of what one of the subplots are going to be. That's all it did. And I'll tell you this, my interest is piqued. It really is, because Like I said, one of the synopses we got was, as I said earlier, Mrs. Incredible is going to be in the spotlight. Elastigirl is going to be in the spotlight this time. Well, the roles will be reversed with Mr. Incredible at home trying to adjust to normal life, or at least try to readjust to normal life. Even under disguise, even with the knowledge that, people know that they exist as superheroes, that they're superheroes, that they're trying to live a normal life as the Parr family. I think that's the last name. I think that's the last name. Basically, it's kind of like, it sounds like it's divided into two plots. One for Elastigirl, one for the Bob and the kids, because Bob, Violet, and Dash are trying to readjust to normal life, even though people know they're heroes. But they're trying to readjust at it at the same time that the baby Jack-Jack's powers are just emerging. Are just starting to emerge. I mean, we kind of got an idea about that in the first film. We had a short that followed that with what his powers, of him discovering his powers while he was with the babysitter. So overall, we got a hint. We basically got a hint there in the first film, and we got somewhat of a hint in this teaser trailer that Jack is going to probably end up being, as he gets older and everything, unless he gets it under control, he's going to be the most powerful of the family. So it's going to be really interesting how they go with that. It's going to be really interesting how they move forward with that premise as far as the movie goes, as far as the story plot goes. But overall, the teaser trailer, I think, did its job. It got people hyped, got them excited, and hopefully when the next full trailer, which I think the next trailer, and it's going to be the full one, the full theatrical trailer, I think when that comes out, which I would believe will be around the Super Bowl time, around Super Bowl time, I would believe that's when it would come. We'll get a better idea of what we're going to get. Again, the synopsis is it's going to focus more on Elastigirl, Helen Parr, Mrs. Incredible. She's going to be in the spotlight. And we'll see what they do. I mean, one thing I think that's going to happen, it's just my opinion, but one thing I believe is going to happen is you're going to have each of the family members, along with Jack, of course, but each of the family members are going to discover that the powers are slowly growing, slowly evolving, if you will. That's my assumption. Don't quote me on that. Don't count on that happening. Don't count really on maybe them going in that direction. But it's an assumption. I'm assuming that that's what's going to happen, because if you take a look at superhero films or shows or whatever, one of the things one of the plot lines that's always followed is down the line, a superhero's powers start to evolve. The superhero powers start to evolve even beyond their expectations, and they're able to do things with their powers they haven't done in a while, or they have never thought they could do. For example, I look at Helen Parr, Mrs. Incredible, Elastigirl, and I look at the fact that we're going to get all the shape-shifting, flattening, whatever that we got in the first film, but we're going to get more. We're going to get more. And what I mean by more is, and I know some people might say I'm a little too much into this, but I got a feeling that, and this is something that a lot of people do with stories featuring elastic-like characters. One of the powers that they give them is they're able to liquefy themselves. They're able to shapeshift themselves into a total, if not semi-liquefied state, kind of gooey state, that helps them get through certain obstacles and stuff. And I could see perhaps Helen having that power in the second film. I have a feeling, and it's an assumption, I'm assuming she might have that power. Again, I discussed this during my lunch break one time when this was first announced. But yeah, I kind of see Helen, having that power added to her elastic abilities. Because like I said, in any story with elastic characters, whether it's fan fiction or official media, a lot of elastic-like characters have those abilities. I could see her shape-shifting, I could see basically her shape-shifting and her elasticability being more prominent, being more evolved. Like, I could see her stretching for a lot longer than she can at times. I can also see her shape-shifting becoming more prominent because, yeah, we saw what she could do in the first film, but I see it becoming more, I could see it becoming more viable in the second film. And the reason I say that is because we saw her shapeshift into a life raft that she used to get herself, Violet, and Dash to shore in the first film. Now, what I mean by viable, I'm talking about the fact that I think what's going to happen, again, it's an assumption, but I'm assuming what's going to happen next, or what's going to happen is the shape-shifting is basically she's going to shapeshift. I'm assuming this is going to happen, that they're going to have her shapeshift into different objects. Like if she's on a mission or whatever, she's going to shapeshift into different objects, but you're not going to see any head or anything sticking out like she did when she was a raft. No. I've got a feeling what they're going to do is have her shapeshift to the point that she's completely unidentifiable. Like she shapeshifts into a crate box to disguise herself, to keep herself hidden from the antagonist of the film, or from the minions of the antagonist of the film. And she's completely unidentifiable except for the color of her uniform. And that the only thing you see of her facially are her eyes and maybe her mouth, and that's about it. I can see them doing that. I can see them going in that direction with Helen's character, as far as her powers are concerned. So that's what I think they're going to do with her. I believe we'll get an origin story about her too. And how she got her powers, and how she was, how when she first got her powers, how she was discovering how to use them. So we might get that. I'm not saying we will, because I think one of the tropes that a lot of people look forward to when it comes to superhero films, no matter which ones they are, is you always end up getting some kind of origin story of how they got the powers. So it's going to be really interesting what they do with her character, since her character is supposed to be the main protagonist in the sequel. As far as the kids go, I think their powers are going to evolve a little bit more. I think Dash is going to get a lot faster than he was before, or even towards almost even probably beyond Flash levels. Like maybe they'll throw in, again, it's an assumption, maybe they'll throw in the fact that he could actually, race back in time, kind of a nod to the Flash, and say, hey, this is part of his powers as they grow. That as he grows, so does his powers, and he's able to do a lot more. I could see them doing something like that. As far as Violet goes, we know she is basically this world's Mrs. We know that she's this world's Invisible Woman. So she's able to put up projection shields, turn herself invisible, and all that. But the only thing that obviously she has not discovered yet is, well, she has discovered it because in the movie it kind of evolves with her. Well, actually the uniform is supposed to, I guess as Edna Mole puts it, the uniforms were created to work with the powers and all that. So anyway, long story short, I think even outside of her uniform in regular civilian clothes, she'll be able to turn herself completely invisible and all that. So that's going to be an evolution of her powers to where she'll become completely invisible even in regular clothes. I think that's going to be something that we can all look forward to as far as her character goes. And I think Mr. Incredible is going to Mr. Incredible Bob, he's going to end up staying the same, maybe get a little stronger. We'll have to wait and see. Overall, I don't want this to go too long, but overall, I'm really looking forward to this film, and the trailer definitely gets me excited. The teaser trailer definitely gets me excited, and I look forward to a full theatrical trailer, perhaps around Super Bowl time, early next year. So That's really all I can say on it. Let me know what you guys think down below. Are you looking forward to it? Do you think any of the assumptions I came up with of what we could see may or may not happen? Let me know down below. Comment if you like. I'm out.